And we're back. Good evening, everybody. My name's Adam Pelletier, and as I'm sure you can tell, joining me tonight is the head coach of the Nashville Kats, the one and only Darren Arbet. Coach Arbet, thank you for joining us this evening. How does it feel to be back in the arena football game?
Feels great. I miss coaching football, and Coach Fisher's been tremendous talking to him and just talking football.
I mean, that's got to be great. Two great football minds talking together, being in the same city. Um, Talk to us a little bit. What appealed to you about the Nashville Kats job? Why were you excited about this? I know there's been rumors circulating for months now to finally be in Nashville, confirmed, locked in. Just what was the appeal to go to the Cats?
Yeah, you're right. It was a lot of talk going on, but I came to Nashville and spent time with Jeff and Greg Pogue, and we went around to the practice facility, to all the vendors that were going to sponsor us with food and just do things so the guys would be a great experience for the players. And went back home, talked to my wife, told her I was excited about it. So call Coach Fisher and said, let's do this.
Awesome. 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 Well, we're excited to have you back in the arena fold. We've got you're starting to build a great roster here. And we were talking a little bit pre-show, everybody's favorite thing to talk about. Talk to us about your quarterbacks. How'd you go about identifying those guys? And what are you looking for out of each of them?
Well, let's talk about Corey Curtis first. Strong arm. I'm good friends with Chris Siegfried. And, Chris loves Corey. They talk every day. So Chris told me about him, watched some film. He had a tremendous career at Gannon, was at Ohio State right out of high school, then went to the Seahawks, was going to go to camp last year with West Texas, but the Seahawks picked him up, and he went to camp with the Seahawks. Great person, great family man. He fits what I usually have at quarterback.
Awesome. Like you said, you talked about that connection there with Siegfried. We know he was in camp with Siegfried last year before he went to get that Seahawks opportunity, but he's not just a shoe in here. You got another guy, Jake Dunaway. Talk to us a little bit about Jake and how he got on your radar.
Yeah, I've seen Jake play a lot. I'm the color commentator for Sacramento State football on ESPN Plus. So I've seen Jake play for 3 years. He had a tremendous career at Sacramento State, went undefeated in the Big Sky. And those who know about the Big Sky, well, 2 years he went undefeated in the Big Sky, and that's a great conference. Got an opportunity to go to the CFL. He was there a year and a half on the football team. He's hungry now, wants to get back out on the field, and you're right. It's going to be a great competition between those two young men.
As you're kind of looking at this, getting set with this quarterback competition, what are some of the things that you're looking for as a coach and as a talent evaluator? What's the biggest thing that Coach Arbet's quarterback has to have?
Quick release, can read the field, timing, understand the timing routes, a leader, and both of those young men have all those attributes.
Excellent. And you have some experienced arena guys as well. You have some receivers like Jordan Gandy out there, Rob Jones, and Josh Reese. You have a veteran crew out there. Was it important to you to bring in some veterans, some guys who have long arena careers to complement the young new guys that you're bringing in as well?
Yeah, I like those guys. I also like Robert Jones and Trey Long. I think it's going to be a lot of competition there. They understand the game. That's something that I wanted to do. In San Jose, let's say I built up some there where I was going to stay there for a while, but sometimes you need to get those veteran guys so you don't start slow. I think with these young men, we'll start fast. And I like the way they can play along with a young man named Isaiah McCoy. He's a pretty good receiver as well.
So talented receiving. Talk to us. Who are you looking at to anchor that defense? I mean, I have some familiar names that I'm noticing, but I'm curious, who are some of the guys that you really like and are standing out to you as you get ready for this year?
Up front, you have to start with Big Roderick Perry the third. I mean, when you watch his highlights tapes, it's preseason in the NFL. He was with the Browns, he was with the Seahawks, played with the Rattlers last year, and they won the championship. He was their nose guard. He's very solid in that middle. Johnny Hudson, another young man from Fresno State, was in the Pittsburgh Steelers camp. I really like what he can do. Justin Alexandre, NFL guy with the Jets, played with West Texas last year. He was a monster. Every time you saw number two, he was in the backfield
Yeah.
making the quarterback move around or sacking him. And Thibodeau, we got a young man named Thibodeau, Ezra Thibodeau. He can play too. I like him out of Kingsville.
No, I mean, you built a lot there, and you've got strong relationships. I mean, you talked about working with and talking with Coach Siegfried and how you kind of took some guys that have played for him. How important is it to maintain those relationships with other coaches in arena and in the 50-yard game in your mind?
It's huge, and the coaches have been great. Coach Walker, who we worked together a long time in San Jose, he's been really helpful. Coach Siegfried has been really helpful. Coach Ware in Albany, he calls me a lot to check in and just see how I'm doing. So the coaching, I mean, it's been great. The guys have reached out and they've been awesome.
So, I mean, I know you have that long running relationship with Coach Walker. Is it as friendly as it used to be in the meeting rooms? Is he still helping you prep the game plan, or is he more of a closed book now that you might see him on the other side of the field? Nope. Did I lose you there? Yep. So Coach
Yeah, you
Walker,
lost.
yep, that's okay. Coach Walker, you guys used to coach together. You worked together for the longest time. Is he a little bit more of a closed book now that he's an opponent and a rival?
No, no. I called him the other day. I was putting together the defensive playbook. Hey, coach, I don't have this. Oh, I'll send it to you, coach. And he'll send me stuff. Remember when you did this, Coach Arbet? And I go, oh, you have it? He says, yeah, I got it. So, yeah, he's been great. Steve Titus, his owner, Mike Horta in Albany, everyone's been awesome.
Oh, that's great. That's what we love to hear. We always talk about it. Arena football, a family off the field and fierce competitors on it. And I think that you just embodied it right there. Um, Talk to us. You talked a little bit about why Nashville, but why Arena Football One? There's a lot of opportunities out there to coach in the 50-yard game. What drew you to the new kid on the block?
Jerry Kurz has been a family friend for a long time. Gary Compton, we go way back. Everyone looks at me. He's football operations. I remember when he was a receiver, talking mess to all the DBs and being physical. And he was a great player, great coach in Bakersfield in the arena too. So just talking to the guys. Once Jerry Kurz got into it, then he introduced me to uh, Coach Fisher, Steve Titus. Got to talk to those Mike and Albany. They were great, and I just thought it was time to get back in it. Went home and talked to the boss, and she was on board. Once she was on board, I love coaching. I was trying to be a great husband, but she just said, "Hey, you're happier when you're coaching." She said, "Go ahead and do it."
There we go. There we go. That's real exciting to hear. We've talked about the leadership. We've talked about how everybody's working together. Um, and you talked about your players. Just, as we're kind of thinking about it, are there any games you're particularly looking forward to this year? Maybe some places you're excited to return to. As a longtime arena coach, you've been to a lot of these cities already. Any that you're particularly excited to go back to?
I'll tell you, it's hard to win a football game. And I tell the team that every day. Coach Walker knows this. Coach Siegfried knows it. It's hard to win a football game. Heck, I went 20-1 year in the Arena Football League and lost a game to a team that didn't have a very good record. So I, you want to go into every game and play the best you can. And whomever it is, I'm going to do the film work, me and the coaches, and we're going to try to get it done.
There we go. Very not trying to give anybody bulletin board material here in the early goings, eh, Coach?
No, I mean, Coach Walker can tell you, I'm worried about every game.
No
Every
one
game we
holds a
play.
no one will let you forget it like Coach Walker if you say something to. Let me tell you. Talk to him about the tier 3 comments that were made about them last year, and I believe they engraved that on their ring after they won. They made sure to not live it down. So you talk about those connections, you talk about that history. Um, is there any coach that you look at and you say, that's a guy I want to be like? That's a guy I've been watching a lot this off season. Is there anybody like that that you saw last year or this off season? Anybody that's currently in the league that you're like, I need to watch what that guy's doing because he's doing some stuff.
I think you need to watch all the coaches. I mean, I would name every coach in the league. I mean, Harano Nick. I mean, Coach O'Neill. I mean, what he did in Salina and Billings, he's in the Hall of Fame. Coach Walker, uh, just all the coaches in this Coach Ware. Everyone is a really good coach, and I take a lot from a lot of them when I'm watching film and see what they're doing. And anytime you feel that you can't learn when you're watching football and what another coach is doing, I think it's time to get out of the game. I've learned so much last year just watching, even when Bonner was with Coach Walker, uh, and he has Randy Hipper now, who did a tremendous job here last year as a quarterback. And I like watching all those guys. I'm excited to watch what Coach Hippert does now as a coach. I mean, he was really good as a player, understanding the game, throwing the ball, getting it out of his hands, all those things, all those intangibles you want a quarterback to have. He has it and had it, I should say. And let's see, can he teach it now? And I'm sure he can. Um, yeah, but every coach.
Yeah. Um, Shifting gears, you've traveled a lot over the years. Is there any place you're really excited to go back to and have a meal in any of these cities? Any place where you're like, man, I couldn't get this burger I had in Albany out of my mind. Any place like that?
Albany has a special place in my heart because that's the first job I had as a coach in arena football. Coach Hohensee hired me. Coach
Hmm.
Daly was there. Coach K, Coach Ton, and me. And then all of us end up playing in arena bowls as head coaches. So it was just a great experience there. And I loved staying in Schenectady. It was great. I mean, looking forward to going back there and seeing all the different things.
Good, good, good. All right, Coach, I promised we'd be quick. Just kind of last thing, what would your message be to Cats fans or new arena football fans about what they can expect from the Nashville Kats this season?
We didn't talk about our DBs: Kenny Veal, Amos Coleman, Sean Lewis, CJ Anthony, Kayvon Smith, and the fullback linebackers, Calvin Fance, Carlton Brown. Really like those young men. Offensive lineman, Zach Thomas was great in another league, as well as Kyle Davis, Trey Johnson, Bray Walker. Then my coaches. I couldn't do this or put this roster together without Terry Foster. He's the player personnel director. I've learned so much from him, as well as Chris McKinney and Mike Kramer, our quality control guy. He keeps me on my toes. And Kerry Lachlan, gotta love Coach Locke. Coached in the NFL under Coach Ryan and with the Jets. And he was in the CFL and won a couple of great cups as a coach. I have a great staff that they should get all the credit, not me. I'm just on those calls and those Zoom meetings. They're doing all the work and getting it done.
Yeah. So, uh, well, thank you, Coach. We really appreciate it. We're very excited to see you back on the sidelines this year. And of course, the biggest question: Are you still are you still ready to dodge guys when the play comes to you from coaching on the field? Or are you going to let the other coaches handle that, being the guy in the line of fire?
Like I just told you, Chris McKinney and Coach Foster and Locke, I'm learning a lot from those guys. I think I ought to just stay back and let them do their thing.
So Coach Arbet going to stay off the field and leave it to the young men. There we go. All right. Well, Coach Arbet, thank you very much. We're looking forward to seeing you and the Cats rock and roll this season. And I just want to take a quick moment. We are aware of the false reports coming out of Corpus Christi, and that's all I'm going to say on it. We're aware of the false reports coming out of Corpus Christi. So thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate the time, and we look forward to seeing you in Corpus Christi in week 0. So
okay, thanks. Thanks for having me, Adam.
Yep. All right. And everybody, we'll see you next week.